Nick, welcome. We're talking about the sequel to Nintendo Switch console, the Switch Successor, the Switch 2, the Switch Pro Boogaloo. What do you want to call it?
Whatever it is, yeah. Who knows? Does it have a project name yet? Is
Project
it?
Ounce or Bounce is the as that's the leak from the Game Freak leak says. But anyway,
Oh, oh, okay.
we'll call it Switch 2, just to make things
We'll
easy.
call it Switch 2 because I think we're sort of universally, and I'm gonna have a beer as well. I like to celebrate Nick and Jeff coming back after probably like 6 months of no podcasting. I'll get that fresh snap in the microphone. That will sound good.
We discussed before we started, like, should we just get straight into it, or have a little, have a little chin wag, and then Nick busts open the beer.
We're back into it.
Nick,
Yeah, like I think we're just calling it Switch 2.
Switch 2. Nick, we got a whole bunch of topics to get through.
Mm, mm.
When is the reveal of Switch 2 going to happen?
That's the thing. What are we in now? It's October.
No, it's
Oh, no, it's
1st of
November now.
November.
It is November now.
October
Oh
is
yeah.
gone. The rumors were wrong.
Yes. I think if they don't announce it in November, I think December will be completely out, and then they'll announce it in January. That,
I I bet January. I feel
mm,
like,
yeah.
if they wanted to ruin their Christmas sales, they could have.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, you've got Mario and Luigi out next week, and then I don't think there's any other games really.
No.
Then they just dropped Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I think that's I don't know, like, but I reckon it's January. That's my
Yeah.
bet. They're not
Yeah.
going to do it now.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Prime 4 announced, but there's no way that that's not coming to Switch 2. So, like, really, it's all downhill from here, getting ready for that Switch 2. And I think you're probably right. I think January announcement sounds probably right. But if we're looking, because that's the thing, I think December's too late to announce it in December. Everyone's getting ready for Christmas. No one really cares. It's not going to come out that time. Wait for Christmas to be over, all that to die down, everyone to be finished and busy. Announce it in January. I think you're probably right there.
Man,
But if they announce it in January, when does it come out, Jeffrey?
I still think March is the right time, like the very end of March.
Mm,
Nintendo's got their
mm,
whole fiscal end of fiscal year, like 31st of March.
yep.
Not that I know how Japanese shareholders work or whatever, or Nintendo needs to make money, but they
Mm,
probably haven't made as much money this year as they
yep.
have last financial year, which had, Tears of the Kingdom, special
Yep.
OLED editions and stuff. So I feel like if we need to look good for investors, you want like a real nice shot in the arm at the very end, at like the very end of March,
Mm,
and then have that trickle to April, May, June, and then like your first quarter of the next year looks really good because all those sales keep coming in. That's what I would do.
yep. Let's see. I feel like you're absolutely right. I think that's very clever. I kind of feel like I have two predictions because I think if they announce it now in November, then we're looking at a March release date. But if they don't announce it this month or this year, and they announce it in January, then I reckon you're looking about probably a May release date. So I feel like going from announcing it in January to then 2 months later, it's not a whole lot of time, but like I could see them doing it, but it's just like that's really not a lot of time, especially for an announcement, because by the time 2 months later, then like all the product needs to be like going and all those wheels need to be turning.
And we have got this, in our topic list about money and cost later, right? But
Mm,
a console is a significant investment. How
yeah.
much time do you give consumers? We're adults with disposable income, but how much time do you need to give other people? Like, just like, oh, I need to save up to get my Switch too. Like, is 2 months? 2 months is not really enough time to save up. Probably, quite a lot of money. But man,
Yep.
Nick, I don't want to wait until May. I don't
No,
want to wait.
I don't
I
want
don't
to wait
want to.
till, I don't want to wait till May either. I mean, if they announced it tomorrow, I would march down to the shops tomorrow and throw money at the man and make him give me my Switch
Take.
too. But yeah, I feel like announcing it in January for a March release date, that's so soon. And I feel like at that point they're then risking, distributors getting it out to people and then people getting their hands on it early or, rumors and everything just leaking a lot. The longer they wait to announce, the more, I guess, risky it is for
There's
people to
a
leak
there's
things,
a
right?
lot yeah, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of pre-order bonuses, there's a lot of videos or what, like there's a lot of stuff that I guess just needs to happen with a
Mm,
console launch, but
mm.
maybe they don't need it, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, you're right, but March would make it, is it 8 years? Because Switch first one came out in March 2000 and
Nick, this Switch was revealed 8 years ago.
revealed 8 years ago.
That's all like that, that video with Karen on the rooftop,
Mm,
and the guy taking his dog for a walk playing Zelda. Like,
hmm
what a great video,
mm.
great soundtrack too. Like,
Yeah, oh, great. Yes.
were you like the Wii U wasn't doing so well? I don't know. I don't feel like it was terrible, but I feel like that Switch reveal trailer 8 years ago, man, that was hype. That was like I was
Yeah. Oh, it
pumped.
was massive because like that had been rumors for years that like everyone's saying, okay, the technology's here now. Instead of Nintendo having a handheld and a home console,
Hmm.
the technology's there. Like surely they're working on it. They're gonna combine those two babies instead of like, spreading everything thin and like half the games are on DS and half the games are on the Wii U, whatever. Now it's the one. It has to be the one thing. And then when that was finally confirmed and it was
Hmm.
announced, and it's like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is what the Wii U tried to be, couldn't be. This is what the Switch is. And like it's perfect. It's been a perfect console. It's just not got enough sort of. It doesn't, for 2024, it just doesn't have, or 2025 even. I feel like it just doesn't have that oomph in it anymore to just keep up with where games are at.
No, definitely not. Like most Nintendo first party games, still banging, but any sort of third party thing, you're feeling the chug.
Yeah, yeah.
And well,
Uh,
I update my phone like every 2 years. Like,
yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's right.
I'm happy to update my Switch after 8. Really, I am.
Yeah,
I'm
and that's
ready.
oh yeah, I think everyone is very, very ready, and I think you're right because like the the world we were updating our phones every 2 years, sort of 2 3 years back then as well, and like now I feel like it's even more common for people to upgrade their phone every like 2 or 3 years, and the fact that it's been this long since a Switch, like holy mo and like phones cost 2 3 grand now. A
Yep.
Switch is a Switch is only a few $100. Like I mean, I want to go. I want to try and keep a topic list in order. So pricing, I guess we can sort of get to later. But I mean,
Nick, shall we talk launch games?
launch games.
So I think I've got two questions here for us.
Yes.
What do you think will be a launch game, and what do you want to be a launch game? So like, let's go with that first one. What do you think the launch of Nintendo Switch is like for games?
Well, I think a big part of that depends on exactly what Switch 2 is. Is it literally just a upgraded, more powerful Switch? Or is there another gimmick to it? Like, do they put a camera on it and add in like a bunch of weird augmented reality things? Are there more?
Oh,
Are there?
we got that topic down the bottom, Nick.
Is it? Are you kidding?
We really do.
Oh, okay. But like,
But yeah,
I'd
so
say
so you're saying a gimmick launch title.
yeah, because I feel like at least the Wii had Wii Sports, the Wii U had
Nintendo
Nintendo
Land.
Land, and the Switch had One Two Switch, and like did the I guess well the GameCube had Smash, right?
Sort of. Yeah. What? No, that was Luigi's Mansion. Yeah, it was a bit weird for
Yeah,
Australia because
yeah.
we were
Oh yeah,
delayed.
of course, yeah. But like the last three consoles that they've released have been like a gimmick game, and I think with they're trying to recapture that Wii Sports explosion
Yeah.
bonanza that they had. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this console has some sort of gimmick or some sort of attachment or maybe like some sort of VR plug-in or whatever it is, and then the launch game is associated with that. So that's what I wouldn't be surprised, and that's what I could very much see them playing it safe and doing something like
Mm.
that. What I kind of hope and think also might be in some sort of realm of possibility is some sort of like HD remake of a game. So I could see them doing like an upgraded Wind Waker, an upgraded Twilight Princess, an upgraded
4K.
Ocarina of Time, or I could very much also see them doing an upgraded original Mario Galaxy or Mario Galaxy 2. I could very, very much see them doing that
And
as a
that's what
launch game.
that's what you want.
I'd be happy with that. I'd be pretty stoked with that because I feel like a new game that just with how they've been sort of releasing things the last couple of years, I can't really see them having a big thing like that in such a short time. I'm not sure what all their like all their devs would be working on, but like a new big Mario game, but since Odyssey, like maybe a new one of that. But I could also see them playing it safe and being like, here's Galaxy HD Ultra upgraded with a remaster there. But I don't know. What about you? What do you think? What kind of games are we looking at for Switch 2 launch?
I think what the launch games would be is I would do a really hardcore Nintendo fan title,
Mm.
right? And then the and like I don't know if this is launch or like the next month. Would be Mario Kart 10,
Mm.
Infinite, whatever. I really
Yep,
think if
yep.
they launch with Metroid Prime 4, which honestly, I don't think has the pull that, hardcore fans think it does.
Yeah. No.
Metroid Dread's like the highest selling Metroid, and that's 3 million, right?
It's nothing.
That's not a huge thing.
It's
But
not a
what,
whole
what, what they
lot.
do
Yeah.
have, and what we know nothing about, Pokemon Legends. And
Mm.
then, whilst Pokemon, whilst it's not, Sword and Shield or AB, color one, color two, I
Hmm.
still think the power of a launch of a Pokemon game will get absolutely the hardcore fans, wanting in,
Mm.
and then even the casual fans like, oh my god, like a new Pokemon that's not Power World or whatever. I think that would really draw people in,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then follow that up with brand new IP, brand new thing, Arms 2, whatever,
Yep, yep.
um, and then Mario Kart. Like that's what I think would be an optimal sort of launch. Get the hardcore players in talking
Mm.
about it. Have a wave two with the casual crowd once they've their supplies have gone back up to
Mm.
normal, and
Yep,
then
yep.
and then this what you kind of said, HD remakes of something or other, other ports, other new titles. Just having a lineup for the 6 months where every month there is one brand new or brand new thing or HD remaster of something to go
Mm.
bam, 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 bam of all this different type of variety of
Mm.
games.
You
Um,
make a you make a great point there. Sorry, I interrupt you. With just like with Metroid not having the big sort of pull to get mainstream, I guess the general mum and dad at the mum and grub
yeah.
shop, get them into it. But Prime is enough to get to get that first sort of wave out, get all
Mm.
the hardcore Nintendo fans, give them something new, give anyone who hasn't played a Prime game before to like get into that, like buy Switch 2, and there's a chance there for them to adopt new fans. But you're right, it's a business. They're in it to make money, and I like Mario Kart makes money. Animal Crossing makes money. Smash makes money. Oh, Smash makes yeah. You know what I mean? But
Smash makes money. Yeah, it does.
yeah. Um, so like, yeah, and you're right. I think your answer is a little bit more business focused with them trying to make that money, and I think like Mario Kart at launch, I would love. I think that'd be great, but it's also like that's a big game, and I feel like then they're short on units. But then of course, then they run the funness of having that shortage thing where everyone's like, "Oh, I can't get one. I can't get one." So everyone's then trying to get a Switch, and it's all the talk and it's all the rage. So like, maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something there. Absolutely.
Um, as for like, what do I want to be the launch game?
Mm.
I think definitely Pokemon. Like, if it's Pokemon Legends, I would be like, hell yeah, because that's my most favorite Pokemon game I've
Mm.
ever played. But if they
Yep.
said, guess what? Here's Mario Odyssey 2, here's Mario Universe, like whatever 3D Mario platforming thing, like that would be like, oh yeah, here's the new console. Mario is the king of the town. Here's the new platformer. Bam! Like that would be. I'm in. Metroid
Yep.
Prime, Pokemon. I feel like
Yeah.
guessing is probably on both will probably be on original Switch and whatever the new console is. That's my
Yep.
guess. And by
Yep.
having that, you'll get you know I reckon hardcore Pokemon fans will just play the Switch version, right?
Yeah.
But if it
Yeah.
was Mario, if it was a brand new Mario Odyssey, whatever, Mario Odyssey 2 or something, only
Mm.
on Switch 2, you'd sell out, and then it would be one of those evergreen titles. Someone gets a Switch, they get the new Mario game. Like it'll just keep selling and be the biggest star power combined with Mario Kart.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I didn't mention Pokemon as like a big juggernaut seller as well. So like, that's another one that would just absolutely kill it. And like, I'd love to see Legends, especially after all the crap that Arceus Legends got with with just the last game on Switch,
the
and how
Nintendo
terribly
64 textures and it didn't run terribly. It just some parts looked ugly, and then Scarlet Violet. Well, that was a hot mess.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't bother me. I still had so much fun with the gameplay, but I digress. That sort of takes us on as a great way to our next topic. What do you think the power of Switch 2 will be?
I don't know Mac computers, right? But there's all these talks of like, the power of the M1 chip, the power of the M2 chip. I feel like if it's just like, the Switch is just running, I don't know, an M2 chip or something. I don't know what the world is in the PC world, the Windows world.
Yeah.
But like, Snapdragon X85. Like, I don't know. What do I really want? I think I would love a slightly less powered Xbox Series S in power. So people say PS4 graphics, right? Like, that'll be great. PS4 graphics, I think that's fine. Xbox Series S is very, similar, but I think in my mind, like somewhere between that level. But is that realistic?
Is that asking too much? I agree with you.
I don't know.
I wasn't going to say Xbox Series S. My answer was actually going to be closer to PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right. I think the PS4 is not enough. The Xbox Series S, I think that's supposed to be a little bit more powerful than PS4 Pro. That might be going too much, but I feel like PS4 Pro kind of strength would be. I feel like that's not too much to ask for, but especially when you look at like the price of the most comparable thing for Switch 2 anyway would be the Steam Decks, right? And
yes.
they're about what, $1,000, $1,200.
Yeah, I think like the Rogue Ally is probably $1,500 US. I don't know, to be honest, but they're not a super cheap purchase that I feel like, oh yeah, I can afford that. There's like, no, I'm investing. I'm going to do my research. Is this the best use of my money? I feel like I really thought about purchase when you get to that level of money.
But Nintendo's not stupid. They absolutely would have been paying attention when the PS5 was released, and remember like when we saw that price tag of like $900, whatever it was, and it's like, oh, that's so much, but everyone's bought it. The PS5 is doing well.
Yeah.
It's doing great, and like I'm gonna buy that PS5 Pro because I'm a dickhead.
Well, I think the PS5 launched at either $799 or $750 in Australia, and we all thought that was expensive. But then it was COVID, and like, oh, we need this thing, right? And now the PS5 Pro price in Australia is like $1,200.
Yeah,
like that. Like that's a lot. But then go find a Apple tablet. I don't know how much the Apple tablets cost. iPads anywhere between $500 to $2,000 easy.
Yeah, it's amazing how just like people like in general view gaming consoles versus like every other day household items. Like my Dyson, my vacuum cost me $1,100. Like my vacuum cost me $1,100. I don't even like that thing. I use it every day, but it's not like one of my favorite things. The PS5 is one of my favorite things ever, and that thing cost me $850. Like my phone is like a $2,000 phone. I mean, I use it all the time, but like if I was stuck in a room for the rest of my life and all I had was either this or my PS5, I'd take my PS5 over this. You know what I mean? Like it just. And so I could see the Switch being like $1,000 in Australia, and I'm okay with that. I think I'd be happy. I mean, I'm an adult now. I make adult money, and I'm in. Oh, surprise for anyone watching the stream where we haven't done it for a while. I have a fancy new apartment now, so I've got a little bit of extra money to burn. I told you I just dropped like $60 on this new Pokemon Pocket trading card game, which I don't regret. I love it. I think it's so much fun. But Switch 2, if it was 2 grand, I'd still drop 2 grand on the Switch 2. Anything over 2 grand though, I'd be very mad about it.
I, I just like, I want it to be PS5 Pro levels of power, right? Like that's probably one of
Yeah.
Xbox Series S. But I still think it somehow has to fit in a tablet, and Nintendo's, you know, has never been going after graphical power. They go after what's sort of cheap and easy to produce, and then their games somehow they tailor their games to generally look, fantastic for their
Yeah.
power of the level, hardware level power, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just think if it's similar or easy of the PS4 level of games, it means that there'll be this huge back library of ports and people wanting to put their titles on the thing because like, oh yeah, that's easy. If it doesn't meet that power, then I think they're in trouble.
Mm. I agree with you. Do you think like you've got it as sort of the next topic? What are the controllers like? Are we? And it's sort of like they're sort of two in one. Like, how do you think How do you think the design will change, and will there be riots if it's not backwards compatible? So that like I sort of take that as the same as like not just the Joy-Cons, but like Pro controllers, and then obviously the game library of the Switch. Like, do you move your Nintendo account over? What do you think of all these things?
So I like collecting the Joy Cons clearly, right? Um,
Yes.
there's no point turning the camera around to show them all, but I've got a lot of those controllers. Are they good? No, they're not.
No.
Um, is it fun to switch the Switch? Right? It is like I know there's been very rare times where like Nick, let's play in tabletop mode whilst we're at the airport or whatever, right? Like, and it's
Yeah.
kind of it's cool. It's cool to do.
Yeah.
I think the benefit of having instant multiplayer when you first get the console
Mm.
is a really good benefit. So, and I think they like their motion control things, like
Mm.
so. I think the Joy Cons will stay, but be different. Um, I think the next console will have detachable controllers.
Mm. I agree. I do think it'll have detachable controls as well. But you don't. Do you think the old like all your Joy-Cons that you have, your 200 Joy-Cons, will they work with Switch 2? You reckon?
Maybe by Bluetooth. Bluetooth. I
Ah,
quite
yep,
possible. I think Nintendo's
yep.
already currently opted to have any sort of Bluetooth style controller pair with the Switch. I
Mm.
think if they're doing that, I think that means the Joy Cons will continue to work. Whether they
Mm.
slide onto the machine, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I feel like that the Joy-Con design. I think you're right. Like as great as they're terrible as far as all the drift goes and like all that
I've
sort of
never
stuff.
had
But like,
drift. What are you talking about? That's
but
everyone
they're
else.
very well when you've got so many to choose from. I guess
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I feel like it's such a tiny little fragile thing that I would like the new controllers to be a little bit more meaty, and then like any families who buy Switch 2, then they probably also have a Switch 1 and they can use their old tiny little crappy Joy-Cons, but I would like upgraded Joy-Cons. I would like better controllers. I think they'll keep the Pro controller. And like they'll all be compatible, like you said, with Bluetooth.
There will definitely be a new Pro controller. Like it'll just be new. It'll be
Yeah,
slightly different than the previous one.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I hope it has the kickstand that like the OLED. I use that more than I
Yeah, oh great.
think.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. Um yeah,
Yeah.
do you think our Nintendo accounts will carry over and you'll be able to play everything?
Um. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
100%. I think backwards compatibility um is here to stay.
Yep.
I'd be disappointed because especially now, like Switch is the first time I've built a digital library, right? And I remember,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Phil Spencer, the Xbox dude, talking about it ages ago. How at the start of the PS4 and Xbox generation, that's when everyone sort of moved to digital a lot more. And then by building that
Yeah.
digital library, like, oh, well, I'm going to stay with PS4 because I built my library and I want to keep it with me.
Yep.
Um, it's sometimes it's really fun to go back to a game I've previously, downloaded and replay.
Yep.
I guess the question is, would people be upset, Nick? Would you be upset if you lost your entire Switch library and you had to start from scratch?
But and when you started asking me the question, I think my initial response was like, hell yes, I'd be absolutely furious if I couldn't do all that. But also, my Switch isn't going anywhere. Like I won't need to. I'm not a poor 12-year-old kid anymore. I won't need to trade it in to get the Switch 2. So like, and like, yeah, I mean, I just went to New Zealand. I still took my 3DS and was playing Omega Ruby on that. So like, if I want to do it, if I want to go back and play the old games, then they're there. I could see them maybe just. I could see them making it not backwards compatible, but I don't think I would be furious about it. But it just seems like a no-brainer, right? Like you have your Nintendo account, they've set up the eShop really well. I could see the eShop getting a redesign, obviously,
Yeah.
but they've got the classic NES app, they've got the SNES app, they've got the 64 app, they've got the subscription now, the Nintendo subscription there, which you can use the Pokemon. Oh no, Pokemon Bank's a separate thing, but um, like it's that infrastructure and that ecosystem is, I think, really well set up now for the Switch, and I think they worked really hard to establish that. And I feel like it would be very silly and a bit of a disservice to not only just the fans but themselves to not carry all that over to Switch 2. Like link your Nintendo account, you know, it seems like a no-brainer. But I wouldn't be mad about it, but I would be disappointed.
It's interesting. Like I think about the PS4 and PS5, right?
Mm,
I don't think I've gone back to play a single PS4 game ever.
mm,
But I think there's been on the odd occasion, maybe I didn't acquire a PS4 title back in that time, but I have played it on the PS5 in the future. So I
mm.
think, having the options, it's better than not having the option.
Yeah, and there's been a couple like PS4 games that I've gone back and dabbled in every now and then with little things here and there, but nothing that I've really sort of sunk my teeth into. But I could also very much see them doing, the same thing they did with the PS4 to the PS5. You port over all your Switch stuff, and then it's all there. You can play the Switch version of it, but if you want to pay like 10-15 bucks, you can unlock the upgraded HD, upres, smoother frame rates, just everything better for Switch 2. And I could see them just absolutely milking the crap out of that when they can just unlock the frame rates and make it all run nice and smooth. Like say, Mario Kart, for example, when you play single player, you got 60 FPS. But then when you add in more than one player, two, three, four players, the frame rate drops to like 30-ish and
Yeah.
lower. So I could see them just like locking all that in at 60 and just be like, here's a new like upgraded Mario Kart. Although, fun little trivia for any fans watching, the Mario Kart Deluxe on the Switch was the very first video that like I reviewed and put on this YouTube channel, like put on our YouTube channel. And one of my favorite things that I said in there is that when we do get the next Mario Kart, it's not going to be Mario Kart anymore. Now, especially now that they've introduced Link and the Villager, and like I think Splatoon's in there as well. The Inklings in there.
Yeah.
I could still. It's no longer going to be Mario Kart. It's going to be a Nintendo Kart. There's going to be all like Samus is going to be in there. Captain Falcon's going to be in there. It's going to be a celebration of all things Nintendo. You'll have a whole heap of old tracks, but then you'll have a F-Zero level, you have a Zelda level, you'll have a Metroid level.
I thought like, oh, I've got the perfect word, like name for this. Mario Kart Tour. But that's already what the mobile game is called.
Yeah.
Super, Nintendo Kart Tour. I don't know. They won't call it Tour.
No, Mario Kart Worldwide or something. I don't know.
Nick, you mentioned before about the eShop, right? Definitely the eShop definitely needs to change.
Yes.
What do you want to keep from the original Switch to the second one?
Oh, I think the shop itself, like the menus and all the things, the way it's all the things you can select of like new releases coming soon, top tens, then like the things for your account, and I think that sidebar with all the little selection things, I think that's great. I think the Switch eShop is kind of set up kind of perfectly how it is. I feel like the PlayStation store is still like confusing and messy, whereas the Switch eShop while dated, is still very like clean and organized, and it makes sense.
That
So I
that
would,
that that top 25, man. I'm just hooked. I feel like there's still,
yeah,
at least once a month, or if not 2 or 3 times a
yeah,
month. I'm checking what that
yeah.
is.
And like games on sale as well. So I can see them keep it. I would like the eShop to be exactly the same, but just like a new coat of paint, like a redesign. So everything's still there, but it all like, I don't know. The layout is just different. But
Faster.
the yeah, and faster. Like it runs properly. Um, instead of the thing on the side, maybe they do like a bar at the top, or like a wheel selection of like, here's top tens, or games on sale top 25. I could see them doing I think I'd just like a redesign, not like a full overhaul. Yeah. What about yourself? You think it'll stay the same?
Um, eShop I think needs a revamp, right? Like, but I still love it way better than Xbox and
Yep.
the PS5 store, which I
Yep.
like. It's a mess to me, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lo- I love the little news articles. I want that to stay. And I
Yep.
actually still think the Switch UI is still far superior to PS5, and like just
Yes.
infinitely better than Xbox, which I find utterly confusing. Right?
Yes.
Like
I
just
agree.
just that snappiness, simplicity, no
Hmm.
bloat. Like
Yep.
I want the UI to be, I want it to be refreshed so it feels like a new toy, but I still
Yes.
want it to be quite similar.
Yes. I think we both feel like we're trying to say the same thing. Like we don't want to come across and say like, oh, keep it exactly the same, because how it is perfect, but just make it like look more modern and fresh, and like a redesign. But
Mm.
keep the icons still massive. Keep that little bar down the bottom for all your settings and power and all that. Keep all, but like just make it fresh.
Make it fresh.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we talked about changes. There's nothing else you want to check. You want it to really change. We just want something better, don't we?
I think everyone just kind of universally. I mean, that's since from the very start of the podcast, and even everyone that'd be watching or listening. We just want a Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like all the other consoles, going from the 64 to the GameCube to the Wii to the Wii U to the Switch. I feel like they've all been very wildly different designs, and very unique in their own right. Whereas this one, we literally just want it how it is. It's perfect. We just want it to be stronger. That's
That's it.
that's it.
100%. Nick, next question on our list was battery life. I feel
Mm,
like I don't know for sure, but like the 3DS and the DS and the GBA, it kind of felt like 5 to 10 hours. But maybe I'm imagining that. Maybe it wasn't that long. But that's what I kind of remember. When the
yeah.
Switch came out, it was like, yes, you can play Breath of the Wild for maybe 3 hours, or other titles up to 5 or up to 8, if they're like 2D titles. And we
Yeah.
all thought, oh man, it's like less than a 5 hour battery life. That is like, that's terrible. And
Mm.
now all these Steam Decks and Rogue Allies and these all these other sort of PC handhelds, they can last, if you, I'll just say Assassin's Creed Mirage, or I don't know, like it's not even an hour in
Hmm.
some scenarios. And I'm
An
like,
hour.
yeah, yeah, like I'm not saying exactly,
Oh my goodness.
Rogue Ally or Steam Deck is that, but like it's not a lot. You are
Like,
thirsty.
let me see a second. Yeah.
While Nick gets another
Uh,
beer. Yeah, I think it's up to probably 90 minutes is might be the standard. Like
Wow.
90 minutes or less.
Holy
If you think,
moly.
if I'm gonna commute and my PC handheld, my Switch 2 lasts an hour and 15 minutes, I would be feeling that anxiety, or like, oh man, I
Oh,
started
yes.
100%. Oh, I've off the train now onto work, and I'm on 40%. Like,
Mm.
I'm not gonna have enough time to play the full game on the way home. Like that's how I'd feel. So I feel like if it was me, like AAA game, I feel like 2 hours. Tears of the Kingdom 2. If it could play for 2 hours, in a high fidelity like PS4 style graphics, I'd accept. But anything less than 2 hours for a AAA experience, I'd start to feel like, oh, which is it's really difficult, but it's gonna be less.
Well, I didn't know that there was some Steam, like this is new information for me, that some of these Steam Deck games that only last 2 or 3 hours, or
Yeah,
an hour and a half even.
yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing. Um, but like, I feel like that's the thing, because I remember going back 8 years to when the Switch came out and we had Breath of the Wild, and everyone was saying like, oh, you can only play it for 2 or 3 hours. And we're like, oh, that's not a whole long time at all. But I feel like most times I got 5 or 6 hours out of a full charge, really. Like, I'm sure I
yeah,
got longer than that, but also like if I'm playing at home, I don't think there was ever any scenario where like I'd pack my Switch and take it away, and like I'm not jumping on a 5 hour train ride without without like a power bank,
yeah,
you know, or anything like that. Like, I think battery has never really been that big of an issue. Like, even if I were to bring my Switch over to your place, I'd just plug it in at your
yeah,
place while while I'm playing it. So battery doesn't really seem like it was that big of an issue at all, really, for the Switch. Like, even 5 hours of gameplay, like even now with Silent Hill on my PS5, like if I've got a day off, I mean, you said the other day with playing Shadow the Hedgehog, it was 6 hours long, and that was like one of the longest sittings you've done in a while. I feel like we don't play as long as we used to anymore. Like, I'll still sink sometimes 4 or 5 hours into a day, but that's about it, really. It's rare for me to sink longer than 6 hours a day into a game. And so like, if they can make it last for 6 hours, great. I think three, if 2 or 3 is probably more realistic with Nintendo style games if we're comparing it to the Steam Deck. But if it really is that short, I could see them very much releasing some sort of like plug and play instant like battery switch over, like pull this out, put the new one in, and then you're good to go again. And you can charge the next battery, kind of, take your Switch with you, but you can buy battery packs, kind of like
yeah.
I imagine it kind of like my drone. Like, my drone has
Oh yeah,
I've you know
boost the batteries or whatever. Yeah, swap them out.
yeah, like I bought like a fly more back with it or whatever. It comes with 4 batteries, and each battery lasts for, you get like half an hour of flying out of it. So like half an hour is not a whole long time, but when you fly around for 20 minutes, then you land it, pull out the battery, put a new one in, off it goes again, and then like, kind of a non-issue. I could see them doing something like that if the battery really is that short. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's not really, like, everyone's got power banks now. After Pokemon
yeah.
Go, everyone's got power banks.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm not worried.
airplanes doesn't matter. If you're
Yeah,
going to some sort of special like Pokemon tournament event thing, you've got a power bank in your backpack.
and they have
I
USB ports on planes.
Yeah,
Like,
they suck, but they do.
yeah, they do.
I think I just hope that for people who are commuters, that they can get to and from their commute without having to charge in the middle of the day.
Yeah. So that's you.
That's
But even
me.
if
That's
like
me.
even if you only get an hour out of it, and then you go to work, you plug it in at work, and then it's charged, and then you go home and you get your next hour out of it. Like, you know, I'm not too worried about the battery. We already sort of covered it, how much we're willing to pay. I mean, I said I'd pay anything up to $2,000, and then I'd be mad. But what price are you sort of looking at, Jeffrey? Like, I kind of covered mine, but what would you pay?
Honestly, I think 1,000 Australian dollars. I would just pay. I wouldn't even think about it. Yeah, like, I'm a Nintendo fan. Clearly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, nice shirt too, Nick. Yeah, I'd pay the $1,000. What I kind of hope for is they go. They probably are conscious, like, oh yeah, we know it's really expensive, so here's the $700 version, and then here's the $999 OLED version with more storage, and you get the dock, you get the other accessory with the travel case or whatever. Like, I think they'd have two SKUs.
Yeah. I could see
To
that habit. Yeah, we haven't talked about that, but I think you're right. Yeah, like that, I could see that being a thing too. Like, two SKUs of.
Or they'll just go, here's the LCD version, and then next year, year and a half time, oh, OLED version. I'm like, oh damn it, here's my money again.
Yeah,
Because damn, that OLED screen's good.
I agree. I could also very much see them doing a QLED screen instead, because it's cheaper and they're still like,
Mini LED.
yeah, yep. I could see them doing one of those as well. It'll all just come down to cost versus like prettiness, I think.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. But yeah, I think you're right. I think $1,000 is probably their sweet spot at 1,000 Australian. But I feel like they don't really cater to the Australian dollar. So
No, no,
like,
no. It'll
you
it'll
know,
be something
I,
bizarre.
yeah, at least yeah, it'll be something bizarre.
If how much were they saying PS5 Pro was? Was that $600? Was that $700? $699
Yeah, something like, I
US.
think 699,
I
799.
think that market is obviously like probably bigger than Japan. I think they would probably target $399.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the Switch is in the US. Maybe 250.
Mm.
I don't know, but probably $399 US dollars, which is probably 800 Australian dollars.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we're looking at as well. It's probably
Yeah,
more realistically. Um, ports, we kind of covered ports.
yeah.
I really like. I feel like I know it's just me with wishful thinking. Like maybe save it for later, but like yeah, I'll save it for later with hopes and dreams.
Well, Nick, all right. So there probably will be lots of PS4 style ports, I think. But are there any games that you are saving for that FPS boost on Switch 2?
Oh, nah. Well, that's. I feel like every Switch game that we want to play, like every Nintendo game that we've played, we play the shit out of, right? Like in Mario Odyssey, I ended the game with like 1,000 moons or whatever it
Yeah.
was, and then Tears of the Kingdom, I we played the crap out of that. We literally did. We got every piece of armor, we cheated it and fully upgraded them completely, and I finished the game with 90 million rupees and all like. There's really nothing that I need to sort of carry over and play again. I still haven't played um, the latest Zelda, whatever that's called. I can't remember.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Echoes of Wisdom.
I'm nearly finished. I'm surprised how slow I'm taking that game.
Hmm.
Half an hour on the train every day. Every other
Yeah,
day.
yeah. So I don't know. Like maybe that. I think if I haven't carried that over yet, then of course I think I still have another ticket for my Switch, and I don't know what I'm going to spend that on. So then
Metro
maybe
Prime,
I'll just.
easy.
Well, that's if it comes out in time, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, because
It,
you got to. Yeah, there's no release date for
it,
that, is there?
Yeah, that's right. So if it's going to expire, then I might just buy like I'll find something to buy and then carry it over. But we'll see. I mean, I've still got Astral Chain. I bought that with a ticket that was going to expire, so you know,
I mean,
maybe that.
I wish I could
Because
say more. I wish I could say more positive things about it. Like I enjoyed my 4 hours I played of Astral
Mm,
Chain, and then I just
mm.
dropped it.
But I feel like when Switch 2 comes out, I mean, like at least when the first one came out, we played the crap out of Breath of the Wild, and then I'm like, okay, Mario Kart's still not for like another 2 months. I really want to play my Switch, and there was nothing I could play. So like, I feel like this time, if things are backwards compatible and I carry over, I've got Echoes of Wisdom there, I've got Astral Chain there, I have another ticket that's probably going to expire with another game, mystery game that I might still buy. So I'm not too worried. Yeah.
I really want to play Luigi's Mansion 3 again. And I think it's probably 30 frames per second. I don't know if it's 60. And I don't see it, like, needing or getting an FPS boost, but I'm like, oh, save it for next Halloween.
Yeah. All right, what do we got?
The
If you had to give the Switch 2 a gimmick, what would it be?
Nick, I when I wrote this, I thought of the gimmick. I'm like, yeah, this is great thing to talk about, and it's lost me, right?
Yeah.
I've totally forgotten. Um,
I mean, I've got
what
one.
do you got? You go.
Um, I could very much see the Switch 2 getting a camera on it. Um,
Yeah.
so like I think with the success of Pokemon Go and all that sort of stuff, I could very much see some sort of augmented reality camera
So
or something like that.
external facing camera or selfie style camera?
No, external facing camera. I imagine an external facing camera, because even something like with the PSVR 2, once you uh, put it on your face, you map out your room and you map out your playing space. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Switch 2 has like a map out your home kind of thing, or something like that. Because portable, you can carry it around, you can map out an area, and then you can play the game in that area. So like maybe in Zelda you jump into a dungeon and there's like the puzzle you have to like
That'd be
solve in
very
your
Nintendo like. I could definitely see
yeah,
that.
like a puzzle like that you have to solve maybe in your house or something like that. You yeah, or Pokemon game gets released and then you out catching Pokemon in the wild with your Switch, holding things, taking photos of things, and I could. That's a gimmick that I feel like I could very easily see them carrying across because VR, I don't really see them doing that. I don't really see you know anything much more with the Joy Cons or the controllers that they can do. Like unless they add in like physical things, like it has a mini squirt gun in it or something that sprays you in the face. You know what I mean? Like there's only so many like ultra HD vibrations you can get from a controller.
give me. I want HD Rumble too. I
Mm,
I really like that.
mm.
Astrobot's like
Yeah,
insane.
Astrobot's insane. I could see the new Pro controller for the Switch 2 being the Astrobot controller type thing. But yeah, do you think there's any other sort of gimmicks? I'd love to know what it was you thought of.
No, me too, me too. Um, maybe I think like maybe there's some sort of sensitivity, or remember how the PSP had the back touch panels?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's something like that, or maybe there's like an extra LCD and like the Joy-Con or something. But no, I hope the Switch 2 doesn't need a gimmick. It's
Mm,
already it's just better than the current
okay.
Switch. As
Mm.
long as it can still switch, I think that'll be enough.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised again. Actually, I would be surprised if they did like a 3D Switch, kind of like 3DS,
Oh
3D
boy,
Switch.
yeah.
Um, I feel like that would probably take up too much battery power, but I'd like to see Street Pass come back with collecting of puzzle pieces and
Oh
all that sort of stuff.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I really think now they're like Bluetooth low energy, Bluetooth 6, 8, whatever we're up to, right? I
yeah,
can. I feel like that's a real possibility.
yeah,
Obviously the 3DS had some sort of wasn't well. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't the current Bluetooth technology, right? From
yeah,
10 years later,
yeah.
maybe it will come back.
I mean, Street Pass was a massive thing, a massive, massive thing. Collecting those puzzle pieces, having them, I could see the Mii's coming back and making more of like I guess just a comeback in general, and having a new Sword Quest or other little things like that. Maybe a more customizable Switch screen with wallpapers or something like
Mm.
that. Maybe,
Wallpaper.
maybe,
Everyone
maybe.
wants the wallpapers.
Yeah, but well, just because I know how much fun you had with that little claw game where you got like
Oh
stickers and everything.
yeah, UFO catcher, whatever it
Yeah,
was called.
yeah,
But yeah, that was
yeah.
great. I really I spent money
So I
on
was
that.
Yeah. So as far as gimmicks go, I could very much see something like that happening, but that's kind of it from me.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm honestly kind of shocked that when the Switch first came out and there's like detachable controllers that you can rechange, we never got like the GameCube Joy Cons, right? Like someone else made them, but like there was no attached weird bizarre things to your Switch unit. It was still just always the standard Joy Cons. There wasn't like any alterations of
Yeah.
that. Imagine if
Good
there was
point.
some sort of special game where there was like, a normal controller on one side and like the fishing wheel on the other or something. Like
Mhm.
there was no
Oh,
crazy switch gimmick.
sorry, I forgot another thing. I could also very much see it being a foldable Switch, like
Wow.
like I said before. Yeah,
Wait, so
a,
one screen or two screens?
I think one screen. I think just kind of like those new Google phones, where it just like it opens up and it's just like one sort of big screen. So
All
I
right,
could see
wow.
that being a thing. Yeah. Uh,
Nintendo Switch Fold.
yes. Yeah. Um, and I definitely I could also see them making docked mode more powerful than handheld mode as well. But
Yeah, well, we haven't really talked about that. The dock.
yeah. Mm.
Do you think if there is a dock, it'll be exactly like the current Switch where it's just a glorified power adapter, or there will be a boost for
Well,
external GPU unit inside that dock because it's a Thunderbolt port or something.
for ages, for probably 3 years, I did say, with Switch 2, I just imagine them doing the same thing, just more powerful, and everything's backwards compatible, same controls, same everything. But it was actually you who sort of talked me out of it and convinced me out of it. I think if they're going to make it as powerful as it needs to be, it's gonna be bigger. it's it's gonna be thicker, which I don't mind. I don't mind a more meaty Switch. I don't mind it being more of like a Steam Deck style kind of Switch. But that boy ain't fitting into that dock over there.
No.
So yeah, if it's going for the type of power that they're trying to go for, I don't see it being compatible with the old
Well,
dock.
who know? Like these phones, they just keep getting like thinner and thinner. Like it's just.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Nick, I think we're at the end.
Mm.
Final thoughts, hopes, dreams. What's the big reveal that you've been saving for this entire time?
Ugh. Well, no, you go first. I feel like I've done a lot of talking the last 5 minutes. Your turn. What are your hopes and dreams?
I still want it to be small. I don't like. I like the size of the screen that the OLED is now. If it's like half an inch bigger or whatever, like that's fine. But I don't want the thing to be astronomically chunkier or bigger or just dominating. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the OLED screens, the right size. Like when I attach these sort of chunky style Joy-Cons, like they're good for a controller, but I still want something ergonomic but still smaller. Not gigantic footprint. I do just want it to be Switch 2.
Yep.
I'm ready. I hope there isn't crazy gimmicks. And please just give me Pikmin 5.
No, we only just got Pikmin 4. Was that 2023?
Actually, you know what? I do have some things that I do want.
I want whatever you want to be.
I want, like, the power of the SSD with the instant loading and the streaming world, blah blah blah. I want that, but what I really want is the Xbox instant resume feature for Switch games.
Yeah,
jumping between titles instantly and for different situations, I think would just be, incredible. Like, me and my lifestyle. Oh, I'm at home. Yeah, I want to play that big Zelda game. Oh, I'm on the train. Oh, I just want that, that light, quick game or whatever, right? Without having to risk, losing your progress and wherever you are. Like, and then, cool, my friends are over. Let's play Mario Kart. Having all of that accessible and instantly jumping between them all. Nintendo Switch Jump. There you go.
Yeah.
I really think that would be an even better, like, game changer. Like, how Xbox do it, I don't know. But PS5 clearly doesn't do it.
Yeah. Okay. What about games?
Games?
Because it's like the sky's the limit. Hopes and dreams, whatever you want.
Well,
throw it out there.
I haven't really thought about the games. Like, I've kind of just trust Nintendo that they make the games that I like to play, right? And yes, Sony makes these big AAA, narrative single player experiences. I like those as well, but I still can get them, on PlayStation and Xbox. Sus, don't care, right? And everything Bethesda and Microsoft put out, don't care for. I think I trust them to make whatever the games that they want to make that I'll most likely enjoy, 3/4 of them. And some I don't care for at all. So I'm not worried about the games. If there's a Smash Ultimate 2, like, I think there'll be another Smash. There'll just be, like, there'll be another Mario game. Will there be another Pikmin game? I hope so. I'll let that just happen. Whatever that is. Deliver it to me, I will fork out money.
I love it's not forking it out. It's just like, just take it, Nintendo, just take it all.
Nick, you final thoughts, hopes and dreams.
My hopes and dreams. I want Smash to come out on launch day.
Launch day, wow. What are the new characters?
But I want, how many characters at the moment? 86.
I would say that, yeah.
84, 86, something.
Let's say 90. Let's just say 90 characters. Well, a Palutena, not Palutena, Pyramithra, one character or two? Is Pokemon Trainer one character or three?
Wow. Well, when you click on that roster and it's got all the images there, so
Yeah,
when you separate them all and you've got Pokemon Trainer and
yeah.
whatever, and it's got all the Mii fighters there, I would like to see 100 characters in Smash,
That's
and
not
that
that.
like
That's not that many extra. Anyway, yeah.
well, it's
Sorry,
still like it's still probably
13.
like
Oh,
15 extra,
yeah,
which is still that was the whole 64 game,
yeah,
like
yeah. All right, yeah, fair.
so that's a lot of characters, even though it doesn't sound like a lot, or at least the promise of characters coming with more DLC.
Yeah,
Oh, you're frozen. You're frozen. Oh, my
yeah.
screen.
We
Oh,
both
there we go. He's
froze.
back.
Yeah.
Uh, that's right. So I want Smash, but I want 100 characters. I want Mario Kart, but I want all the Nintendo characters in there, and it to be more of a celebration of Nintendo as opposed to just Mario Kart. I could see them adding in, doing a Diddy Kong Racing style thing where some levels are ships or some levels are planes or
Ah,
whatever, or
yeah.
even just
Just
keeping
different vehicle types. Yeah.
yeah, different vehicle types. Like, I mean, apart from bikes and go karts, I could just see it becoming more vehicles, more fun, kind of like a little bit more interesting with the Mario movie and how they did the Mario karts. Um,
I would
as
like
far
a
as Zelda,
would like the hovercraft. That'd be cool for some
yeah,
levels.
yeah, like Mario Kart Jump or something where it's like gravity and there's different. I don't know. I've said all these.
Oh,
It's hopes and dreams.
they've done the gravity thing.
We're down the rabbit hole now. Um, I want. I've been saying this for ages. I want F-Zero. I want like a new F-Zero, an online F-Zero, a fun, fast, challenging, just badass, brand new F-Zero game. There hasn't been one for 23
Nick?
years.
You just described F-Zero 99, which has everything you want.
No, no, no. I want it to be the Need for Speed Underground of
All right.
of
Yeah.
F-Zeros.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We can like customize your ship, and you go through campaign and unlock new stuff, and
And you
you
get
know.
low.
hmm You get low, get fast. Even with Smash Bros, I could just see them doing something as simple as, say, you got Sonic in there, just put Shadow in there. It's the same thing, just a dark version. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm for it.
That's a very simple. That's a free
I
character.
thought there
That's
was going
easy.
to be more of that, but it didn't really happen.
Yeah,
At the what they called them like echo characters or something, but like
yeah.
that barely
Peach and
happened at
Daisy.
all.
Yeah. Um, I really would like to see because we've been. I know you're against it, and I know you're not a fan. But over the years, for 20 years now, 30 years now, we've been seeing these like Unreal Engine 5 remakes of Ocarina of Time, and with the
Unreal.
and with the power of Switch 2, I think being the equivalent of say a PS4 or PS4 Pro, thinking about how good like Last of Us looked and how good Horizon looked and all that sort of stuff, they could absolutely do a remake of Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask in that engine. And part of me goes, oh, I feel like they only just remade Ocarina of Time not that long ago. No, they did that on the 3DS in like 2009, 2008. So like that was another 14 years ago now or whatever. So they could do it. They could totally do it. I'd love to see, if
Yeah,
not
well,
Ocarina of
Majora's
Time.
Mask was like what 1 or 2 years before the Switch, so that would be
Mm,
2015 or 2016, which
mm,
yeah, that's 9 years ago. So Ocarina of Time's
mm,
even more than that. Wow.
mm. And when I say like not just a recoloring, like a remake kind of thing, so they do it more like Breath of the Wild. So instead of when you start as Young Link, you don't have to go to the tree first and then the Zoras and then Mount Doom or whatever it is. You can do them in any order, and then once you become Adult Link, you can then go to any of the sages in any order. You don't have to go. You don't have to do them in the order of the story. You can, I
Nick,
could see them doing something like that.
you always could.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you really? No, I can't remember. I can't remember. That's the thing. It's been so long. I
You
just
can't.
don't remember.
Um, yeah. Like you don't have like there's little tricks you got to do, but yeah, there's
Okay.
there's certain. No, I'm not. I'm just teasing you. But
Okay.
I remember so clearly on the 3DS version. There was one bit I'm like, things I did before the forest temple was just like, all these things, and the forest temple was like the last of the adult temples before
Oh,
the
really?
shadow and what's the other desert temple, the Gerudo Desert one.
Gerudo, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, like those two are kind of locked until completed the three temples,
Oh,
but um, yeah, it was fun.
okay. And my only other thing which has been my biggest wish from Nintendo forever. So when they watch this podcast and they finally pay attention and listen to what I'm asking for in my hopes and dreams extravaganza, in our hopes and dreams extravaganza of Switch 2 podcast, I want a Pokemon World game. Make it like World of Warcraft or whatever it is. You know, start with Kanto and Johto. Make it Pokemon Silver remake, Johto Kanto 3D open world like Scarlet Violet, whatever, and then do the promise of, you know, every year they'll release a new expansion. They go Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, you know, and they make their way through and make it a whole world. Make it a whole world. I want a Pokemon world that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's just like one Pokemon game.
So
And
not a live service game, just an ever expanding game.
yeah, just a game with like the next expansion comes out, and then the next expansion comes out, and then the next expansion comes out. And I'd like to see like an actual, because they could make that an absolute just bonanza of an esports event, like an actual, you know, you get once you get all the badges, you then go and compete in the Pokemon League. And it's just like a big tournament style. You register, and if you're not there for your match, you forfeit, and the person moves on to the next round. And then ultimately you have like a Pokemon champion. They do it, you know, they can do it every quarter or even once a year or something like that. And like, I'd
I
love to see. I would watch a Pokemon League
I kind
and
of
tune in to see winners.
when like Smash Ultimate came out and like the DLC and the waves kept coming, or the new characters kept coming, and like Mario Kart was kind of the same, with a little bit of a replacement of like here's your next wave of levels. I kind of want more games to do that, and like I don't mind if it's, you know, that makes the base game smaller, but it gives you the reason to like come back and explore that title again with like, you know, fresh eyes. Like, oh, there's 4 new levels, great, I'm gonna have a great time again, you know, doing these things. Like Mario Party could do that. Splatoon kind of does that with the Splatfest and like, you know, new content drops. But they could create this ecosystem, you know, at least for Smash and Mario Kart. Cool, you know. Oh, here's the new Arms game, or you know, whatever the new IP is. Guess what? We've just launched that character in Smash. We've, you know, made a Mario Kart level for that. You know, there's a new season of clothing in Animal Crossing or new accessories or whatever, right? To celebrate the launch of that title across all these Nintendo franchises. I think that would be like they could do it.
Yep. And it's like even just thinking now with gimmicks and stuff, with it being creative enough. You know how I was saying with the gimmick being a camera on the outside and you could do augmented reality of your own room. I imagine something like just I don't know if it's possible technologically, but like say you register your space in Pikmin 5, and then like you're collecting items in your own house with Pikmin. You know, just something silly like that. Like,
Could you imagine implications of like, oh, I've uploaded a level to the Pikmin 5, you know, user generated content. Can you find all of the hidden toys in my bedroom? Like, you know.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh, funny.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
I think Nick, that's
it. We're done.
that's an hour. That's our discussion of Switch 2, the sequel to Nintendo Switch, the Switch successor. What I think that's what Nintendo's calling it, the successor to the Nintendo Switch console. I'm Jeff. You're Nick.
You know what'll be fun? When we go back and rewatch this when they do announce it, and all of our hopes and dreams get crushed when they're like, oh, Switch 2's coming out, and it's like the power of like a PS3 Pro, and the launch game is Peach's Showtime 2. That's it. Just Peach Showtime 2. That's it. See you later. Bye.
Well, we've got Breath of the Wild HD 4K.
Oh god.
Actually, like, you know what? We didn't talk about
us.
4K either, but I don't think it'll output 4K.
No.
I think it will.
That 2160.
No, I think it'll do 20. I think it'll do 1080p, right? And then I think the dock. I think it'll just be 1080p. That's probably my guess actually. But I think if there's a dock, it'll do some sort of magic AI upscaling, because that's the newest kind of technology world. I'm getting ads for Samsung, 8K upscaling every single thing you put on the TV. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Is this
Yeah.
true or not? Like, but maybe that's the answer for the 4K situation, because I just don't see the tablet, outputting that
Yeah.
level of detail.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nick,
Anyway, I'm
sorry.
done.
Take us home.
I can't
Take
wait
us
for them to
home.
come back and crush our dreams.
Take us
They
home,
crush
Nick.
us so good. I'm taking us home. Well, everybody, thank you for either watching or on youtube.com/Nick&Jeff or listening on the podcast services of your choice. We are available everywhere. Facebook.com/Nick&Jeff, YouTube Nick and Jeff, Instagram. We don't really use that one, but Spotify.
We're all on all your favorite podcast platforms on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Whatever pipe hole you like, we're probably on there. But yes, don't forget to do the thing that no one does, and just wasting my breath of the generic like, share, and subscribe. Do all those things. We appreciate you. We're a small little thing, but we appreciate all of our fans and followers. And
Leave a
thanks for
comment
listening.
of what you think the sequel to Nintendo Switch will be called.
Yes, Jeff is absolutely right. Let us know from our topics. Let us know your hopes and dreams, what you think Switch 2 is, when it's coming out, how much you think it'll cost. I'd love to know all of your guesses as well. And then we can look back in 6 months with just how wrong we all are when it's just like a Sharknado game that gets released, Switch 2 or something. It'll be something stupid. Anyway, that's us.
All right, we better upload this before they announce the launch.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Jeffrey. Love you.
Love you. See ya. And stop recording.